Now listen here. Let me discuss the magnetic properties, why they are exhibiting by the solids. So reason for magnetic properties in solid. Let me discuss this one first of all. देखो बेटा, whatever you are observing here, this part, the nucleus, right? Around the nucleus, electrons are revolving, correct? See, electrons revolve around the nucleus in various orbits here. That may be s orbital, p orbital, d orbital. Electron revolve around the nucleus and they are present in where? Orbitals and orbits. Next, when they are revolving around the nucleus, they are spinning about their own axis like this. They're spinning like this. You see? They are spinning in their own axis in this way. Due to spinning, magnetic field is generally generating because of the spinning, as electrons are acting as a small, very small magnets. Every electron is acting as a small magnet, a teeny magnet, a small magnet. It is. See what I'm saying? The electron which is present in the orbital, in the orbit, which is revolving around the nucleus, are acting as a small magnets. Each and every electron is a magnet, right? Because why? Because they're spinning. Because of the spinning, what happened? Magnetic field is generated. I will show that one how it is generated. Now, if you observe here, 1s orbital, 2s orbital, 2pz orbital, 2py orbital, and 2px orbital. Each and every orbital, if you observe, they're having principal quantum number, quantum number, and magnetic quantum number. Finally, they're having spin quantum number also. So magnetic quantum number, each and every electron will have a magnetic quantum number, isn't it? It may be 0, it may be +1, or it may be -1, isn't it? For s orbital, definitely 0. Remaining, they may have +1, -1, +2, -2, like that. Now, if you observe here, if an orbital contains 2 electrons, generally maximum number of electrons in orbital beta, how many you have? Maximum number of electrons in orbital? Only 2 electrons, isn't it? Maximum we can have 2 electron, isn't it? Otherwise 1 electron, otherwise 0 electron, right? Then 1 electron will spin like clockwise, other will anti-clockwise. One is like this, other is like this. So if both are in opposite direction, okay, one is clockwise direction, other is anti-clockwise direction, then the spins will be cancelled. That means if in orbital, if electrons are paired like this, one is clockwise direction, you see, one is clockwise, other is what? Anti-clockwise. Now in this case, the magnetic momentum will be cancelled with each other. In that case, magnetic properties will not be exhibited. So magnetic properties will not be observed. In which case, if the electrons are get paired. Understood? Now, for example, if orbital contains only 1 electron, and that electron may be in clockwise or in anti-clockwise, like this. Only single electron is there in the orbital, isn't it? That is what? Clockwise or anti-clockwise. Then you are going to see magnetic momentum, isn't it? Definitely you are going to see the magnetic momentum. Understood? We'll see how this magnetic field is generated. You see, this is moving in which direction, beta? This one is moving in which direction? Which direction is moving?
Anti-clockwise.
This one, anti-clockwise. And this one?
Clockwise.
Isn't it? And you can take whatever it may be, plus or minus. One, if one is plus of, other will be definitely minus of. Now here it is what? Field is generating. The field you are calling as what? magnetic field. A type of field is generating here. In the case of minus, north south. In the case of plus, south and north. In this way, magnetic field is generating. So based upon the magnetic properties, we can classify the solids into 5 types. How many types we can classify? 5. From here onwards, examination point of view, it is very, very important. Okay. This is the topic we are going to discuss for examination point of view. The first one is paramagnetism. Second one is diamagnetism. Third one is ferromagnetism. Fourth one is antiferromagnetic. And finally, what happened? Ferrimagnetic substances. There are 5 substances are there: para, dia, ferro, antiferro, and ferrimagnetic substances. Right? Now let me discuss now each and everything with the definitions and examples. First of all, we'll see the paramagnetism. We're going to see what? Paramagnetism. Anybody? What may be the definition of the paramagnetism?
So which have unpair of electron.
Which definitely they have unpaired. They're attracted by the magnetic field. Isn't it? The definition we can give, they can, first of all thing is, the condition is that they should have unpaired electron. They should have single electrons. Then they can exhibit which type of magnetism? Paramagnetism. Now, I told you earlier, if the electrons are paired like this, they will be cancelled, right? The spin is cancelled. But if they are unpaired electron like this, they cannot be cancelled with each other. Now, in this case, what happened? This is a paramagnetic because they are having unpaired electrons, you see. Isn't it? Now, they can exhibit what type of property? Tell me. These two exhibit what type of property? What property they exhibit?
Paramagnetic.
This will not exhibit the paramagnetic because it is a paired electron, right? So it will never exhibit the paramagnetism. Why? Because here it will be cancelled, here it will not be cancelled with each other. The magnetic momentum will not be cancelled here, but here it will be cancelled because of pairing of electrons. Now, observe what happened. You have more number of unpaired electrons. Here you are having one unpaired, here you are having more number of unpaired. When you have more number of unpaired electrons, what happened? The paramagnetism also what happened? Increases. That means paramagnetism depends upon what character here? Unpaired electrons. Now here, the net magnetic momentum in the solid and the solid experience net for attraction. If you have a magnetic momentum, then they attracted by the magnetic field. If you don't have the magnetic momentum, they don't attracted by the magnetic field. Examples. Oxygen is a paramagnetic nature. This is a very, very important beta. You got in the examination MOT, molecular orbital theory. It has, according to molecular orbital theory, it has unpaired electrons. Where in anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Isn't it? Copper plus 2 also has unpaired electron. Chromium plus 3 also having unpaired electrons. Isn't it? Why they have selected this one? What is the reason? Why I have taken these examples? Yes, reply. Why I have taken these examples, beta?
Sir, because they have unpaired electrons.
So because they have
They all are having unpaired electrons. So you have to remember the examples here. Whatever the examples are given, O2, copper plus 2, Fe plus 3, chromium plus 3, these are having unpaired electron. They comes under paramagnetism. Right? Next. Now we'll move to what? Diamagnetism.
Sir, can you show the last slide?
It is recorded better. You can again watch on YouTube. Like last year we have done same thing. This year also we can do same thing. I will upload this video after the class in YouTube. Right? So one thing you have to take compulsory the notes. यहाँ पर आपको क्या लेना है notes? फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आपको क्या लेना है नोट्स में क्या लेते हैं बेटा ये लिखना है आपको मैग्नेटिक प्रॉपर्टीज 5 टाइप्स ये लिखना है 5 टाइप्स नोट्स में मैग्नेटिक प्रॉपर्टीज 5 टाइप्स नाउ फर्स्ट प्रॉपर्टी पैरामैग्नेटिज्म ये पॉइंट्स आपको लिखना है नोटबुक में पॉइंट्स लिखकर एग्जांपल लिखना है ये सारी एग्जांपल नोटबुक में लिखना है अंडरस्टूड नेक्स्ट Diamagnetism. Now, already you know this one. What is the condition now to exhibit the diamagnetism?
So they don't have
Sir, that
unpaired
must be
electrons.
unpaired electron.
Or
Completely filled, no unpaired. Otherwise, no unpaired electron. They are having completely filled, no unpaired electron. Then they can show diamagnetism. So, for example, I told you they are having plus of here. This is plus of. This is what minus of. Now, plus and minus both are in the same orbital. They will be cancelled. Now, don't take like this. But if I take this one, you cannot take this. You can't say it is cancelled. It is having magnetism. These are unpaired electrons only. Remember, these are because electrons must be paired in same orbital. See, same orbital it is paired here. Condition is this one. These electron spins are paired and magnetic momentum is cancelled. Isn't it? This is cancelled. This never be cancelled. Example क्या लेने आपको? Water, sodium chloride, benzene. They are not having, isn't it? Unpaired electron. Water में unpaired electron रहते बेटा? H2O? No. See, oxygen. One electron from hydrogen, one electron from the, isn't it? Oxygen. One from the oxygen, one from the hydrogen. Now remaining electrons are what here? Paired electrons. Now their bond is formed. Bond is formed. This is a lone pair. This is what? Lone pair. This is also what? Lone pair. This one is what? Bond pair. You see, I am writing pair, bond pair. Pair is itself is called what? Cancelled. Pair means what? Cancelled. Pair means cancelled. Are you having any single electron here? No. Therefore, these all comes under where? Diamagnetism. They comes under in diamagnetism here. So, what are the examples we can take? Water, sodium chloride, benzene. Right? Next. Ferromagnetism. The third type, ferromagnetism. Now, when we have to consider the ferromagnetism, isn't it? Now, you see, I can easily give the definition for this one. Paramagnetic substance means the substances which can weakly attracted, moderately attracted by the magnetic field is called paramagnetic. The substance which are repelled by the magnetic field is nothing but diamagnetic. Now, the definition of the ferro, if you observe, the substance which are strongly attracted, they're what here? Strongly attracted. By which field? Magnetic field. When the paramagnetic field, they are weakly or moderately attracted by the magnetic field, whereas here they are strongly attracted by the magnetic field. Now, in this case, what happened? They may convert into permanent magnets here. Even though if you remove the magnetic field, for example, if you observe the paramagnetic substance is there, now here a magnetic field is generated. This is the magnetic field. Now, because of the magnetic field, this also will convert into magnet. This also act as a magnet. But whereas ferro, if you observe, when you remove the magnetic field, ferro, when you observe here, when you remove the magnetic field is there. In the presence of magnetic field, isn't it? Their domains will be aligned. Even if you remove the magnetic field, what happens? They can still act as what? Magnetic substance. They can act as a magnets. Still they can act as a magnets. Even if you remove the magnetic field. Then they are called what? Ferromagnetic. Whereas para, if you remove this magnetic field, what happens? They cannot act. But these, they can act easily here, right? Next, we will see how these domains are forming, isn't it? What is the difference between the para and the ferro? Let me consider. Now here you see, observe, this is what? Upward direction. The arrow is upward direction. This is also upward direction. All the arrows are upward direction here, isn't it? Upward direction. The alignment of the ferromagnetic substance, if you observe, they are all in same direction. Okay? These are not electrons, better. In ferromagnetism, whatever you are seeing, these are not electrons. Remember, these we can call as a domains we can call. Isn't it? What we call this one? Domain. Now, what is the difference between the domain and electron? What is the difference between the domain and electron? I will explain that one now. Listen here. In solid state, the metal ions, whatever the metal ion, for example, a metal ion is there, M plus is there, isn't it? A metal ion is there. Are grouped together into small regions. That means if you have what happened, you are taking some iron. all the iron metal ions are called as a domain, and they're acting as a magnets. Each and every metal ion acting as a domain. Understood that? Each and every metal ion or metals, they can be considered as what? Domain. Yes, yes, ma'am. Domain, isn't it? Each and everything is called as a domain, right? Next. In unmagnetized piece of ferromagnetic substances, domains are randomly oriented and the net magnetic moment also zero, may not be zero. I will show this one when it becomes zero, when it not zero. I will show this, right? This one I will show in next diagram. Now, in this case, what happened? When you place this under the magnetic field, these substances, if you place under the magnetic field, isn't it? No, sir. Isn't it? The domains will be oriented. Domains means what, beta yahan par? What domains are called here?
Group of metal ions.
Metal ions. In the previous case, in the paramagnetic, electrons we have taken. Now I have taken domains. I am taking domains in the sense of what actually? Metal ions. Now these metal ions are, isn't it, aligned under what? Magnetic field, and that means generally what happen if they are meet with magnetic field, what happen? A strong magnetic field is generated, and after that a magnets will be produced. Generally the magnets are produced in this way only. Okay, only the substance like iron they take and they place the near to what the magnetic fields, and the domains will be aligned so that what happen, a permanent magnets can be generated. I will show this one in a diagram like this. Now, if you see what are the examples here: iron, cobalt, nickel, gadolinium, which is a black element, chromium oxides. All these can act as a ferromagnetic substance. We आपको exam में क्या पढ़ना है? What we have to remember? What is the main thing here? Examples are important. They may ask in MCQs like that. Following which is example can be taken for ferromagnetism. They will give one of the option as iron or cobalt. Now, even when the magnetic field is removed, they can act as what? A permanent magnet. This you have to remember. The difference is that, see, iron magnetic field के पास आपने रखा. Now this act as a magnet. Now, even if you remove this one also, it can act as a magnet, right? This is the thing you need to remember. Antiferro, the fourth type, let me consider antiferromagnetism. Fourth type is nothing but called antiferromagnetism, isn't it? Now, what is antiferromagnetism? Now, here you have taken this one diagram. I will see in this diagram, you will observe. This diagram, what you are observing, beta? Anybody? What thing you are observing in this diagram?
Sir, domain same direction.
Same direction. Do they cancel with each other? Is it possible? Domain also will same like that, but just electron will revolve. Just electron is revolving. Same domain also will take consider like that, clockwise, anti-clockwise. How the electron is moving in clockwise, similarly, the domains also we consider in the momentum of clockwise and anti-clockwise. Now, all are in same alignment, right? Now, if you observe in the let me discuss anti-ferromagnetism. Now, if you observe the diagram, see, they're cancelled with each other. One is upward direction, other is downward direction. One is upward direction, other is downward direction. In this way, what happened? The magnetic magnetic momentum you are going to get zero or not? Yes, definitely the net magnetic momentum you are going to get here zero. Because that opposite direction, oriented in opposite directions, in which magnetic momentum will be definitely what happened? Cancelled with each other. See, this one is plus, this one is minus, cancelled, plus, minus, cancelled. So the net magnetic momentum now becomes here zero in this case. Now, example, manganese dioxide. The manganese oxide you can take. MnO, manganese oxide is the only example is given. According to our textbook, we have only one example, that is MnO, isn't it? So MnO is what type of thing, beta? These are anti-ferromagnetic. They are repelled by the magnetic field, isn't it? They are repelled by the magnetic field. Whereas diamagnetic is weakly repelled, whereas moderately repelled by the magnetic field. Whereas the anti-ferro is strongly repelled by the magnetic field, right? I will take what happened next is what? Ferrimagnetism. So what are ferri? So we got actually what happened, ferro we have seen. Okay, anti-ferro we have seen. Anti-ferro. Both are what? Opposite here. One is actually aligning like this. Other is aligning like this, no? Now what about this one? Ferrimagnetic substance here. Here unequal. Unequal we have to consider. Unequal. Now I will show a diagram. Let me take this diagram. First one upward direction. Second also upward direction. Third one is downward direction. Fourth one is downward direction. Fifth one is what here? Upward direction. Sixth one is downward. That means unequal. So here what happened? Upward, upward, downward, downward, upward, upward, like that. So you can place in examination also you can write dialectic. Something like this, isn't it? Like this, like this, like this, isn't it? You can place like this. So in which what an unequal number of, isn't it? Unequally what happens? Aligned here. Not having symmetrical line, unequally. So in this case, what happened? We are going to see what? Ferrimagnetism substances. Substances in which magnetic momentum of the domains, okay, the magnetic momentum of the domains are aligned parallel and also anti-parallel. Unequally, parallel is there, you see, and also anti-parallel also there. In that case, whatever the magnetic momentum, the net magnetic momentum are called ferrimagnetic substances, isn't it? Whatever the magnetic momentum is generated, that you are calling as ferrimagnetic magnetism, and the substances are called ferrimagnetic substances. This diagram already you have seen. Unequally, parallel is there, anti-parallel. This is anti-parallel. This one is a parallel. You see, parallel, anti-parallel. Then again parallel, anti-parallel. Like that you are going to see this. In this way, you are observing the domains. Equal alignment of domains in ferrimagnetic substance. Unequally they are arranged here. Ferromagnetic substances are weakly attracted. The main difference, if you observe it, ferro, first I am writing like this. Para, then what? Ferri, then what? Ferro. Now, which is strongly attracted? Ferri. Ferri is strongly attracted. What is the reason? Sorry, ferro. Why
Ferro.
strongly attracted? Because in ferro, all are in same direction. The domains are in same direction. Because of the same direction, what happened? The net magnetic momentum will be added. Isn't it? Everything will be added. The resulting will be higher value. Where in the ferri, what happening here in the ferri? Sometimes what?
Sir,
Cancel.
sometimes resulting.
Hmm.
So sometimes resulting magnetic field will become zero.
Zero.
That
Sometimes
makes
maybe what
magnetic
happened? Clearly it is showing no. It is parallel and also anti-parallel. Both are there. Sometimes it is completely parallel. Sometimes it becomes, isn't it? Anti-parallel. So when they get anti-parallel, they will be cancelled, no? That is the reason. So now your thing is that they are weakly attracted in the magnetic field as compared to the ferromagnetic substances. But order will be para is lesser than the ferri, ferri is lesser than the ferro. Which one is highest magnetic momentum you are having? Ferro substances we are having highest. Next, they lose ferrimagnetism on heating and become paramagnetic substances. Okay. So when you heat, what happens? Definitely they lose their magnetic momentum. Whatever the magnetic momentum they're having, that is what you are calling ferrimagnetism because of heating, isn't it? When you heat, what happens? Everything becomes anti-parallel. Even the parallel also becomes what? Anti-parallel, and there now becomes what happened? Normally a paramagnetic. That means the electrons will involve. In this case, we can consider the electrons. In this case, we consider what actually? Domains. The domains we don't consider here. We have to consider as a normal electrons. Now it will move to what? Paramagnetic substances. Now what type of examples we can take? Iron oxide, Fe3O4, MgF2O4, NiF2O4. Now, how to remember? Very simple, better. Now, in this case, remove one iron, place magnesium, place otherwise nickel. Easily we can remember. Take Fe3O4. Okay, again you take Fe3O4. Again you take Fe3O4. Now, what you have to do? Remove minus iron. Okay, place this one with magnesium. Remove one iron, place with nickel. Then we get other examples also. This example we get, and this one also will get. So this is about the magnetic properties. Now I will ask a question. One single question I will ask. You have to reply this one. Example for ferromagnetic substances. What examples we can take? Ferro, I am asking.
Sir, option A.
So A.
Option A is for what, beta? Ferro, right? Now, anybody can say what is MnO? Where we can take MnO?
So ferromagnet.
Yes,
So, and
MnO.
Antiferromagnetic.
Antiferro we can take, antiferro. Now, what about nickel F2O4? What about Fe3O4?
ferri.
Whatever MgF2O4, whatever NeFO4, all these can be taken for what? Ferri, correct? Now, what about iron? Same.
Sir, ferro again.
Like that, right? Oxygen is paramagnetic. Like that. Benzene is what? Benzene, NaCl,
Sir, paramagnetic.
diamagnetic substances. You have to identify the examples in examination point of view. Understood? This is about what we have discussed today. So again, I will revise what we have completed with small explanation. We'll do again now. Okay. So first of all, thing is that how we generate the magnetic property we have discussed. What are the reasons for the magnetic property? Simple reason kya beta? Electrons are spinning on its own axis. Electrons are getting what? Spinning here. Because of the spinning, what happened? Magnetic field is generating. This is the magnetic field is generating. I know. This is the magnetic field is generating. Why? Because of this momentum. Because of the momentum like this. Because of the momentum like this, isn't it? They're moving like this. They're moving like this. That is the reason what happened. This field is generated. Now, this field you are calling as a magnetic field. Now, based upon this, we have calculated how many types data? How many types?
5.
5 types. For paramagnetic, electrons are aligned. Electrons are aligned in same direction, isn't it? Unpaired electrons. Then simply we can call if you have unpaired electrons. Here it is what? Paired electrons. Completely paired electrons. They are diamagnetic nature. If from these three we have taken what? Domains we have taken. Each and every metal ion. The number of metal ions will be there in the solid state crystal, and each and every metal is taken as a domain. The same properties we are taking like this. Okay. In ferro, all are parallel in nature. All are parallel. In antiferro, anti-parallel they are having. In ferri, they are having parallel and anti-parallel. Understood? In ferri, domains parallel and also what? As well as anti-parallel. In antiferro, only anti-parallel we are going to see. Like this we are going to see. In ferro, only parallel arrangement will be seen. So which is strong magnetic in this? Which is strong? Ferro. Which is strong? Mean what? Repelled by what magnetic field? Antiferro.
Dia.
Anti. Then after the dia. Right? Even antiferro also repelled by the magnetic field, right? Both are repelled by the magnetic field because they are cancelled with each other. So this is about actually the last topic of what? Magnetic properties, right? And I told you yesterday we have completed semiconductors, right? I told you to read the semiconductors application at home. Understood? But how many have read? I don't know. Just I will explain these things here. What are the applications? I told in the last class, N-type, P-type conductors will be there, correct? N-type, last class. Yesterday we have discussed this one. N-type conductor, P-type semiconductors. Now, generally, they are used to make which type of components better? Electronic components. To make electronic components, isn't it? So, for example, diode. Diode is having a P type of conductor, N type of semiconductor. We can be used as a rectifiers, isn't it? Transistors. Transistors will have what actually? P type, N type, P type. Again, N type, P type, N type. Like that, what happened? They are sandwiched. So above one, below one, like that. So in this way, they are made upon, and they detects what actually the audio signals, electricity. They detects that one. So that is the reason they are called transistors, isn't it? They are used in the radios for receiving the audio signals, right? So in some cases, we can use in solar cells also. In the case of solar cells also, we can use this one. Solar cells.
Circuits, no, sir.
Photodiodes. In that case, we have to call the diode as a photodiode, isn't it? They will convert the light into what? Electricity. Simply, I am calling diodes. They are used in the diodes. ज़्यादा मत सोचने की जरूरत नहीं. This already we have discussed. Why we have taken 13 and the 15, isn't it? Isn't it? Already we have discussed. Sometimes we can take 12 also, 16 also, isn't it? Yesterday we have discussed why we take 13, to take less number of electrons. This one we get more electrons. If you take further, we get deficiency कितना होता है बेटा 12 में? 2 electrons का deficiency. 13 में कितना होता है deficiency? 1 होता है. इसमें excess कितना होता है? 1 electron. Excess कितना होता है? इसमें less 2 electron. That most of them yesterday absent, I think 28 students only came. Yes, 24 students yesterday came, I think, right? Shall I explain the N-type, P-type? Do you want that one?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
N-type, P-type. मैं थोड़ा जल्दी एक्सप्लेन करता हूँ उसका पी टाइप एन टाइप. ऑलरेडी वी हैव डिस्कस्ड यस्टरडे इन द क्लासरूम itself. मेटल डेफिशिएंसी इफेक्ट कल हमने डिस्कस किया है इसको. मेटल डेफिशिएंसी मैंने बोला आपका, देखो बेटा सभी में Fe+2 है ना. देखो सभी में Fe+2 है, सभी में. रेड पार्ट इज Fe+2, राइट? बट हियर वी आर सीइंग व्हाट? Fe+3. Because of this, what happened? We can call this one metal deficiency defect. The ratio of iron will get 0.9. That means out of, for example, there are 100 are there. 100 irons are there, right? In which Fe+2 is how much better? 94% is there. Just 96% is there. And Fe+3 is how much better? Only 4% is there. Fe+3. So that is the reason what we'll take here, around 96, 95, like that we can take. Yesterday we have discussed this one, all these defects. Right. We'll see this one N-type, P-type also. देखो yesterday हमने डिस्कस किया इलेक्ट्रिकल प्रॉपर्टीज. There will be two types of bands I told you. One is valency bond, other is conduction bond. What is valency bond? The atomic orbitals of metal atoms from molecular orbitals which are so close in energy as to form a band, isn't it? That means you simply imagine which are having electrons. If you do not have the electrons, empty, that is, we can call that one conduction bond we can call. You see this diagram? Now in this diagram what happened? It is partially filled. This is empty it is, isn't it? Now in the metal what happened? Both will overlap. Now what happens in this case? The momentum of electrons can take place from here to here. Overlapping is there, they can move. Therefore they are called as a very good conductors. But in the case of this one, the case of what? case of semiconductor, valency bond and conduction bond, they are very near to each other. They are very near to each other. They both are what? Very near to each other. So that means electrons can jump to here very easily. Very easily they can jump. Already they are what happened? Overlapped. They are completely overlapped here, right? So here momentum of electrons is what? Easy takes place here. But small gap is there here. Even though they can jump to conduction bond, empty bond, they can easily jump. So they can called as a semiconductor. Now what about the insulator beta? The energy gap between the empty and filled is what? Very high. This is called forbidden. This is called forbidden region, we can call this. So in which electrons cannot move here. It is impossible because there is a large difference is there. Now in the case of this one, what we can call here? Insulator. Now what I'm saying, insulator, the conduction and valency bond energy gap is what? Very large. The conduction valency bond energy gap is what? Very less. And the conduction band and valency band, both are what here in this case? Overlapped. When they overlap, they are called conductor. They are very near. Energy gap is much smaller. They are having semiconductor. Large gap they are calling as a insulator. Right? Now, when we have to call semiconductor. So I already told you, when you consider the, isn't it? The energy gap between valency and conduction bond is very small. Okay. Then in that case, what we can call, they are semiconductor. Now next class, we'll discuss P-type, N-type also I will discuss because we don't have the time, much time. So in next class, tomorrow, I will discuss this P-type, N-type again, and I will start even solutions also. Right? Now what you have to do, again, you have to watch the video today, what we discussed on YouTube. And again, you have to make the notes. Understood? The notes